When we talk about the Liverpool career of Jordan Henderson, there are three key time periods of it. There's the starting period when Henderson first came in, during his time at the club after he joined Sunderland in 2011. And there was an expectation about him, an idea that he was this young prospect who was going to thrive and become a key component of the Liverpool midfield. And he wasn't doing that. He came in at a struggling time. We'd just come off the back of Gillett and Hicks. Roy Hodgson, Kenny Dalglish had come in trying to get us back to where we felt we should have been. And a lot of the fans wanted instant gratification. We wanted big players then and there to get us back to the upper echelon. And Henderson was almost out the door as quick as he came in, almost going to Fulham in 2012. We then have the second time period where Henderson stepped up and became the man who we wanted to see on and off the pitch. He took over the captaincy from the greatest player in the history of Liverpool, Steven Gerrard, and forged his own legacy as one of the greats of Liverpool Football Club by winning everything you could possibly win. Premier League, a Champions League, an FA Cup, a Club World Cup. He did it all and arguably is one of the all-time legends of Liverpool because of this. He drove the team with his energy, his leadership, his charisma, his motivation, his vocalisation on and off the pitch, and forged his own legacy at the club. And then you have the third time period, the time period where Jordan Henderson left and his powers were on the wane. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to discuss whether Henderson leaving was the right thing at the time and what's the implications for it going forward, given the fact that he's now left Saudi Arabia, a league which he spoke so prominently about after only 6 months. He's moving to Ajax. Fantastic move for him and the club. But is the damage done? Is the legacy of Jordan Henderson damaged beyond repair? And we're going to discuss that today. Now, I think Henderson is one of those players who's always divided opinion. You'll have fans who adore him, fans who wanted to see him succeed at Liverpool, and fans who just out and out didn't like the player, didn't see the contribution he made on the pitch, didn't understand why he was made captain back in 2015. And there's arguments for both sides. Henderson's career has never been set one way or the other. He was never going to be a flop. He was never going to be a legend in the eyes of a lot of the fans. But he's been both. He's been both. He's at one point destined for the chop, and then he's at one point a legend and an icon of Liverpool Football Club. And ultimately, his history will be kind to Henderson up until 2023. Now, do I think selling him at the time we did was the right move? Yes, it was right for us. It was right for him. What Henderson did on the pitch was provide energy, tenacity. He was a box-to-box midfielder who could dribble, defend, attack. He was a jack of all trades but a master of none, and that's what Jurgen Klopp liked in a midfielder, an energetic powerhouse who would throw himself into tackles, who would lead the team by example by saying never quit, keep going and going and going. And towards 2021, 2022, that power waned. He started to lose his legs. Age was catching up to him. The physicality of a Jurgen Klopp system, which adds 5 years onto your career, some players have said, showed. And Henderson hit a wall and dipped. He became just a passenger in this team at times who vocally was as good as ever, as great as ever, but physically couldn't meet the demands of a Jurgen Klopp team who were trying to go through an evolution to Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool 2.0. Henderson leaving when he did was the right move. For his career, he said himself, Liverpool didn't make much effort to keep him. And I think that's because we knew it was time to move on and move the captaincy to Virgil van Dijk, progress this team beyond the Jordan Henderson era, because people seem to forget Henderson had been captain for 7, going on 8 years. That's a long time to not only be at a club, but to be a leader of a club, to be the captain of the club. We saw it with Steven Gerrard. He had it for a long time. Henderson's era was coming to an end. And in that time period of him being our captain, he did it all. And we will forever be grateful for that. But to leave to a league like the Saudi League, a league which financially no one else on the planet could compete with, a league who seemed like the new Chinese Super League, the MLS, Russia, when Angie Makalaka were buying all these fantastic players, just felt hollow. It felt as though you were trading legacy and history to go for money. And that was the case. But Henderson denied this and said that it was to further the league, the Saudi Arabian league, and to spread the word of football amongst the country and amongst the fans who would be watching. And that was a lie. That was a lie. And from then on, Henderson's never been viewed the same way. Now, we're not going to get into the whole political landscape of it with LGBTQ+, because that's an entirely different conversation, which I'm not well versed enough to speak on. But what I can talk about is what Henderson has done in the meantime. He went to Saudi Arabia for extortionate amounts of money. He's been there for 6 months and was undoubtedly the most vocal player going to that league. He's the first one out the door. And for someone who stood up for it, made interview after interview, stories, and said, I want this league to expand, and we want to develop football in Saudi Arabia and for the rest of the world, to be the first one to leave is hypocrisy. I thought Henderson would have been there the longest. I thought he would have retired there maybe get 1 or 2 years at Sunderland, but given that he was so quick to leave the club when he did, to then go to this league for money, lie and say that it wasn't about money, to then be the first one to leave the Saudi league to go to Ajax, is damaging for his reputation, not just as a Liverpool player, but as a footballer, and in some regards as a human. Henderson is a player who I will always be grateful for what he did at Liverpool, because he gave me some of my happiest memories. And that the shirt there with the Club World Cup badge on wouldn't have happened without Jordan Henderson. We wouldn't have won the Champions League without Jordan Henderson. We wouldn't have won the Premier League without Jordan Henderson. But to go in the way that he did was disappointing from both him and Liverpool Football Club. Henderson deserved a testimonial. He deserved a goodbye. And yes, Fabinho didn't get one. Yes, Firmino kind of got one. Henderson deserved more. And that's disappointing from us that we didn't give him that. But Henderson at the same time felt like he was disrespecting the club by saying, look, no one made an effort to keep me. I left. I felt like both sides deserved more than what they got. And that shrouded this whole transfer saga in a negative way. He's then gone to Saudi Arabia after all this talk about furthering the league, furthering football, to play in front of 800 fans at a game, time and time again, to play for a team who haven't won the league since the 28th of October, for money which it's now coming to light he will not be receiving because of tax. He's, all that side of things prevents him from getting a penny for 6 months. So for the damage he's done to his reputation, the move was not worth it. He's now going to Ajax, which is a much better move for him. He will be in front of fans who are passionate in packed stadiums in the Johan Cruyff Arena for one of the most historical clubs in not just the Netherlands, but Europe. Ajax are a huge club, Champions League winning side, multiple league winners, and have been managed by some fantastic managers. He will go there and play better football than he would in the Saudi league. He won't be earning as much, but he's going to earn more in 1 week at Ajax than he has for 6 months at Saudi Arabia. And if Henderson had left Liverpool to go to a league like Ajax, or to go to a club like Ajax, or to go to a different league, or to go back to Sunderland, or even to go to America and say, my time was over at Liverpool, I needed to move on, there's no hard feelings, it would have been accepted. But the fact that he went to Saudi, went against his principles in many regards, and was selfish, but wasn't honest about it. If you're going to do something, at least own up to it and say, I'm going for the money, it's this much money, my time at Liverpool was done, I have to do what's best for me, Saudi is what's best for me and my family, then it's fine. Yes, we would have been disappointed that he went to the Saudi league. We think he should have gone somewhere better. But the damage he's done to his credibility and reputation is shot, and it's a shame to see, because I adore Jordan Henderson. I love Jordan Henderson. He's one of the epitomizations of what Liverpool Football Club is. He played with heart, and he played with tenacity and desire, and he worked his way up from the plucky kid who couldn't do anything to the club captain, lifting the Champions League after beating Tottenham in Madrid, to winning the inaugural Premier League championship at Anfield, to almost doing a quadruple, to beating Manchester City for the Community Shield at Wembley Stadium. He's been a part of it all. And the unfortunate reality is the departure and all the scenarios that have happened afterwards before moving to Ajax is the key thing that people remember about Jordan Henderson. We all remember Fernando Torres and the amazing things he did for Liverpool, but everyone remembers the Chelsea transfer. Some people remember that more. Luis Suarez, we all remember the fantastic memories he gave us, but the bite incident stands out, and the Patrice Evra incident. Jordan Henderson, we will remember everything he's done for the club, but ultimately the departure and the scenarios and situations that have happened afterwards cast a shadow over everything. And it's a shame, because Jordan Henderson is a player who epitomizes that a fan mentality of football. He's the underdog story. He came from nothing. He worked his way to this team, which he had no right to be in at the time, and he became one of the key players in our history when no one thought he could. If Henderson had gone to Sunderland, or Henderson had gone to Ajax straight away, this would not be up for debate. But in a short space of 6 months, Henderson has divided the fan base more than he ever could have as a player. And I hope he does well at Ajax. I believe he will. He's gone to a fantastic club, rich in history, with a play style that will benefit him. And Ajax right now are in the situation Jordan Henderson was in when he first moved to Liverpool. They are struggling, and he has the ability to get them on the right track. They're on a really good run of form at the moment, but they're currently 6th in the league or something along those lines. He's the man who can bring leadership in, and if he keeps working and working, his legacy could start to build back up, and he could become a legend in Ajax. But there's work to do, and I hope that he can do it, because a man with a history at Liverpool like Henderson deserves more. It's his own doing, but it's his own doing whether or not it changes the opposite direction. Thank you very much for watching. Just a very sort of bit of a passionate rant about this whole situation. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're aiming for 200 by summer, so let's see if we can make that happen. We're 121 at the moment. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you for the next video in 2 days' time. Thank you very much.